swollen feet and I'm tired, but I cannot keep from singing. Nobody said how could they though that this is how the dream would go, and I don't know, but I feel my time is coming. My time is coming, and I'll keep on traveling this path, though it may be steep. And I'll keep on fighting my fears, though they may run deep. And I'll keep on singing, I'll keep on singing. It's 30 feet up in the air, and I'm standing on a wire somewhere between the ground of safety and the heavens. I can't look down, I can't look back. I'm finding it hard to keep track. I must keep focused on the place I'm going, oh, where I'm going. And I'll keep on traveling this path, though it may be steep. And I'll keep on fighting my fears, though they may run deep. And I'll keep on singing, I'll keep on singing. Sometimes these old records in my mind leave me feeling faith is hard to find. When enough of you say what I'm trying to do can't be done, I just gotta run. I'll keep on fighting my fears, though they may run deep. I'll keep on traveling this path, though it may be steep. And I'll keep on singing, I'll keep on singing. I'll keep on traveling this path, though it may be steep. I'll keep on fighting my fears, though they may run deep. And I'll keep on singing, I'll keep on singing. I'll keep on singing, I'll keep on singing. I'll keep on singing, I'll keep on singing.
I wake up in a world where night is falling, but I'm not afraid of the dark. I walk not alone through the valley of the shadow, for love is alive in my heart. Love is alive in my heart. Love is alive. Love is alive. Love is alive in my heart. Love is alive. Love is alive. Love is alive
we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the mothers who breathe with the Mother Earth.
We are the fathers, blessed with a gentle strength.
The sisters and brothers, respected hand in hand.
The sons and the daughters who walk upon this sacred land. And
we are the ones, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones, we are the ones that we've been waiting for, yeah. We are the ones, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. Oh, we are the ones, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the healers who hear the voice of truth.
we are the elders whose wisdom guides our youth.
The searchers and seekers with wings spread into the sun.
The shapers and builders whose work for peace is never done. And
we are the ones, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones, we are the ones that we've been waiting for, yeah. We are the ones, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. Oh, we are the ones, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We're givers of mercy, believers in grace,
singers of great beauty and keepers of the faith.
We are the sailors who come back through the storm.
We are the dreamers resting in God's arms.
The dancers and lovers who move beneath the stars.
The masters and teachers whose visions remind us who we are. And
we are the ones, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones, we are the ones that we've been waiting for, yeah. We are the ones, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. Oh, we are the ones, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are one, we are one, we are all one in God. We are love, we are love, we are all the love of God. Beauty surrounds me, falling at my feet as I hear the calling.
We're on. We're on.
مثل بارون اگه نباری خبر از حال من نداری بی تو پر پر میشم دو روزه دل سنگت برام میسوزه گل سنگم گل سنگم چی بگم از دل تنگم گل سنگم گل سنگم چی بگم از دل تنگم مثل آفتاب اگه بر من نه تو بی سردم و بی رنگم گل سنگم گل سنگم چی بگم از دل تنگم مثل آفتاب اگه بر من نه تو بی سردم و بی رنگم گل سنگم گل سنگم چی بگم از دل تنگم مثل آفتاب اگه بر من نه تو بی سردم و بی
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Columbine Spiritual Center. We're centered in God. We celebrate a world of harmony, peace, and abundance for all. Let's all stand up, get some energy going, and sing some joy songs together and get this day started. Thank you, Pete, for an awesome start-in. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Gonna let it shine, shine. off our Sunday. I see a lot of faces I haven't seen here for a while, and we are just so glad you're all here. Let's stand up and let's start our Christmas carols of the season. Oh come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel that mourns in lonely exile here until the Son of God appears. Rejoice. Shall come to thee, O Israel. Beautiful. Oh, come, thou wisdom from on high, and order all things far and nigh, to use the path of knowledge show, and cause us in her way to go. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Oh, come, desire of nations bind, bid ill in all quarrel and mind, bid envy, strife, and quarrel cease, fill the whole world with heaven's peace. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Shall come to thee, O Israel. Shall come to thee, O Israel. Thank you. Please be seated. And one more just to bring us into prayer and meditation and staying on our Christmas theme. It came upon the midnight clear, that glorious song of old, from angels bending near the earth to touch the harps of gold. Peace on earth, goodwill to men, from heaven, gracious King. The world in solemn stillness lay to hear the angels sing. Still through the open skies they come, with peaceful wings unfurled, and still the heavenly music floats all the weary world. Above its sad and lowly plains, they bend on hovering wing, and shall come the time foretold, when man anew and earth shall own the Prince of Peace, their King, and the whole earth sends back the song which now the angels sing.
So I want to invite you into a time of prayer with me. Gently close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Take a deep breath, allowing those angels within, those messages of God, those divine ideas of spirit to sing within you. To bring their guidance, to hear that guidance. The angels singing. So, sweet Spirit, this morning we are grateful for these angels, these messages, these ideas that Spirit is always sending forth as us, sending forth through us, guiding us to new awareness, guiding us to new ways of being. We honor these messages from Spirit, these angels within that are singing. Life can be challenging. We know this in our humanness, how hard things can be. And yet we are constantly invited to see with a broader lens, a more expanded view, to listen to those inner voices, those inner angels that are pointing the way to greater freedom, more joy, more peace, more love. And so we allow ourselves to tune in to that. When we take moments like this, moments in contemplation, moments in the quiet, we bring to ourselves a sense of peace and love and joy, trusting that all is well. We bring this peace, love, and joy and faith to everyone on our prayer list, every person who is experiencing circumstances that are challenging them. Every prayer request in our prayer box. Anyone in our community that is suffering from the effects of the pandemic or grieving loss of life, loss of jobs, loss of freedoms. Whatever it is, we hold it with love. Listening to those angels sing. And so we're going to spend a few moments now in meditation where we tune into that inner voice, those inner angels, those inner messengers of Spirit, of the divine. At the end of our meditation time, our music team will gently lead us out. For now, let's rest together in the silence.
جبرائیل آمد سراغم که شیرینی دهد و به شرابم بگفتم قصه حال و گفته دارم بگیر دستم که من آشفته کارم که چرخ آخرت رو من سراغم و از دوری این یارم در فراغم چرا راندی بشر من بی گناهم که آدم و هوا دارن مناهم صدایی ناگهان آمد به دادم بشر نیست قانع و شاگرد زیادم بشر ناشد از رزقی که دادم همش نالد که من روزی ندارم گهی پیدا شود شاکر به راهم به وقت مشکلات خواهد پناهم گهی پیدا شود شاکر به راهم گفتش تو چه دانی از فراغم و کوران را چه نعمت از چراغم بشینن این غریبان در کنارم گلم را میبرم غافل ز خارم گهی حمله کنن بر حال زارم که مشکل پرورانن در مزارم تو میرنجی ز من چون بی خیالم کجا گیری تو پیغام و سوالم نگیرن این بشر و جیز بالم و از دوری او نفس به حالم ببینم شعله ها در توی راهم که باشن بندگان خواهند پناهم کجا داری تحمل از جمالم تو که غرقی ز دنیا در خیالم کجا داری تحمل از جمالم تو که غرقی ز دنیا در خیالم
Pete and friends, thanks for setting the stage with the Middle Eastern music. On Friday, Kevin and I went for a bike ride. It's the first bike ride I've taken since we moved back to Denver. And there's not trails, like the Cold Creek Trail is not right out, right near our house. So I'm a little nervous of a bike rider anyway, a little jittery. And we had to ride on the street. And our plan was to go to Littleton on the Platte River Trail, which is a bike trail, so it's no cars, and go to Breckenridge Brewery, have a beer, and come back. And that was the plan for Friday afternoon. Only we left too late. We start going, and there's all these detours, and there's all these twists and turns, and we had to be on the road and for a portion of the time. And Kevin rides up alongside me. He says, "Are you having fun?" And I said, "Somewhat." I couldn't wait to get to that beer. I wanted a beer. It was all about getting to the destination for me. We almost got there. We went about 13 miles, and we realized the time and said, it's going to be dark when we go back if we stop and have a beer now, so we better just turn around and go back. So we turned around, like, when it's all about the destination, something in me shifted when we turned our bikes around and started going back. It was no longer about getting home then, or the destination. It was about the journey. It was about the fun of riding my bike. I had missed that the whole way there. I had missed it because there were detours, and there was sharp turns, and there was construction, and the path was closed, and I had missed the joy of riding my bike. And so often in life, we think it's about getting to that next thing. Instead of, it's about the journey. It's about having fun on the journey. It's about being playful on the journey. It's about letting the wind blow through your hair and taking in the sights and enjoying this beautiful, gorgeous fall day, unseasonably warm. And I had missed that the whole way there. And so often, Christmas seems to be like that. We prepare, and it's about getting to Christmas. Instead of about the journey and what Christmas means in our lives. Today is the first Sunday of Advent, and I almost forgot to light our Advent wreath. So we're going to do something a little traditional here, and lighting a candle on our Advent wreath. There are 4 Sundays in Advent, and the first Sunday represents faith or trust or hope. Now we're going to go away from tradition a little this year and talk more about the expanded Christmas story. But it takes faith. It takes building that trust to be on a spiritual path, to live a spiritual life. We don't know what's coming. Part of that is exciting, and another part can be fearful, like I was on my bike ride. I didn't know there were going to be detours. Well, guess what? Life has detours. Life is never as we plan it to be. There's always going to be some stumbling block, something coming along. So this year, we're looking at the bigger Christmas story than just the night of Jesus' birth. We're starting today with looking at King Herod. And in the Bible, there are 2 Christmas stories, actually. A lot of people don't know that. Only in the Gospels according to Matthew and the Gospel according to Luke. And they're different. They're different accounts of the same story. So what does that tell us? Other than they're not maybe perhaps factual, that there's greater meaning in these stories for us, that it can be a metaphor for our lives, that when we look at it metaphysically, it can give us some guidance, show us more what life's about. We're calling this the road to Bethlehem, and I wish I would have had this foresight to say the road to Bethlehem and back instead of just the road to Bethlehem, because the story doesn't end at Bethlehem. The story continues, just like our lives don't end when we get to a certain destination. They continue. We're following a book by Hypatia Hasbrook called The Trip to Bethlehem. We have a few in our bookstore if you want to follow, but we're not following it sequentially. We're kind of jumping around. And the road to Bethlehem, this trip to Bethlehem, is an inner journey. It takes twists and turns, just like life does in that picture you're seeing. But the spiritual path, the spiritual life is about seeking aliveness. And for most people, that means getting some meaning, that life has some meaning, that there's a higher power in our lives. And that connection to that higher power means we're connected to each other. It's about the journey, not the destination. It's about play and living life and living our potential and coming into greater awareness that we are divine beings. And not everyone will accept this challenge, will accept this way of life. It requires us to transform. It requires us to take risks. It requires us to do things that we're not accustomed to doing and stepping out of our comfort zone. And so many times We don't want to do that. Many are chosen, but few are called, it says in the Bible. We're all given the invitation, but not all of us will answer that invitation. So we want to set the stage today for this greater story, and having the Mideastern music was perfect in setting the stage because this all takes place in the Middle East, in Judea, where the Jewish people are living under Roman rule. And the Romans have appointed a king who wouldn't have been king by birth over the Jews, but he was more of a puppet and did as the Romans wanted him to do. This King Herod. And King Herod was selfish and corrupt and evil and all about himself. He was, if things didn't go his way, he would have temper tantrums. He would kill people, torture people, including one of his wives and several of his children. He was the typical egocentric person, where it was all about him. No other view, no other perspective was welcome or acknowledged. Things went his way, which was Romans' way, the Romans' way. King Herod lives in each one of us. We each have a King Herod in us. In Unity, we teach that all the stories, all the characters in the Bible represent an aspect of our consciousness, represent an aspect of us. So each character we can find in our own consciousness. We don't often like to hear that, especially when it's someone like King Herod who we're talking about. But that resides in us. This wanting our own way, only wanting to see our view. Being selfish is all within us as well. Now also, we're looking at the road to Bethlehem. Bethlehem is one of the few cities from Jerusalem. Jerusalem metaphysically means place of peace, peace of mind. And most roads to Jerusalem went up, meaning we had to raise our level of consciousness. You have to raise your consciousness level in order to get to that peace. But Bethlehem was just a little bit higher in elevation, which means the birth of the Christ has to be, you have to go a bit more than having peace of mind. To birth a new awareness. So the birth of Jesus represents this birth of new awareness of our divine nature. When we get to Bethlehem, which metaphysically means house of bread or house of sustenance, we have everything we need. We are fed, we are nurtured. But before we get there, we have this King Herod experience. We have this place of darkness. Now, most of our information that we have on King Herod did not come from the Bible. If you go to those scriptures, you're not going to see a whole lot about King Herod. It comes more from a Jew named Josephus, who wrote Antiquities of the Jews, which was a history of ancient Palestine. And this is where we get all the information we had about Herod and how he was a puppet king and how he built monuments to the Roman rulers of his time. He also actually built the Jewish temple. But he represents this egocentric view of things, worldly view. Also, Herod means heroic, but he will make heroic attempts to protect himself. Just like we do when we feel threatened. We will do everything we can to keep ourselves safe. And Herod had a very long reign in Judea, meaning it takes a well-established ego to lead a spiritual life. We have to be clear in who we are in order to be able to go through the transformation that's required of a spiritual journey. So Jesus was born into this time period, this period of a strong worldly power, that the Jews were pushed down. The world didn't want to let go of its grip, or the Romans didn't want to let go of its grip, of its power. So the first stage of this journey, when we're taking this road to Bethlehem and back, is to release some of that egocentricity that we find in ourselves, to release those things within us that are holding us back from seeing the light. We have to let go of its grip. It's not easy to do. We often want to just stay where we're comfortable, stay where we're in power, where we feel empowered. But we want to free ourselves to being more open, more accepting. That's that first stage of a spiritual journey. Spiritual journeys are often about letting go, as we had 7 weeks of surrender that we talked about this fall. It's about letting go to uncover what is already there. The divine, glorious, brilliant, dazzling self that is in each of us. But we have to let go of this hold that King Herod has on us, this power of release. And when we do, then we can catch a glimpse of the sun through the clouds. Catch a glimpse of the sun, S-O-N as well. Catch a glimpse of that dazzling light as the wise men did. And the wise men, actually, they saw the star before the conception. In the Gospels, it talks about the wise men seeing the star and traveling that night. But the wise men actually caught this glimpse of the star before that. And the wise men, or wise women, represent the combined wisdom. It says there's 3 of them, but the Bible doesn't say anywhere there's 3 of them. It just says there's 3 gifts. But 3 meaning the whole of it. They represent the magician archetype to us, that being able to look for the good in challenging situations, being able to balance the worldview and the spiritual view. That's the wise men, wise women. And they see this light, this bright light. They're the only ones that can see it. It's spiritual aspiration. With wisdom, with discernment, we are able to see a greater view than without it. And so they have this conviction that there's this Christ nature, the star out there, not outside of themselves. It's all within us. And we travel to that place. And where do they see it but in the east? The east represents new life. It's where the sun comes up. So whenever someone's traveling east in the Bible, it's going towards a spiritual life, moving towards a spiritual life. So they catch a glimpse of this before Jesus is even conceived. This is using our power of wisdom, our power of discernment, our ability to discern, to see the good in the King Herod consciousness, to know that there's more than just what's the appearance of. This week, Richard Rohr did a great series on archetypes using Carl Jung's archetypes. And if you are into Richard Rohr, I suggest going to his blog from this past week. They were really good. But in one of them, he talks about how this discernment, this power of discernment is when we first hear Spirit, or we first hear the divine speaking through us, it'll sound like our own voice. Because it is. It's us. It's within us. But we need to use that discernment to start learning, to start getting clear on, is this my higher self speaking or is this my smaller self speaking? It takes spending time in contemplation, time in meditation. Recognizing the difference between that voice of spirit and that voice of the smaller self, the ego. When the ego feels threatened, it will do all it can to keep itself safe. The wise men had gone to Herod and said, "We saw this great star." And they guessed its meaning was that the king of the Jews, the actual king of the Jews, was to be born. There was this longing to see that. Herod, of course, felt threatened by this. Because what does he do afterwards? He has all the babies, 2 or younger, killed. He's very threatened by having a real king of the Jews. Metaphysically, is this how we need to protect these new ideas? As we have a birth of a new awareness, it's vulnerable. Anytime we've had an aha moment and we share it with someone that doesn't believe, what happens to that awareness? It could be put down, it could be questioned, and our doubts creep in. So we want to protect this new awareness from the inner Herod. Because inner Herod will always want to save itself. So look at your own life. In what part of your life does Herod lurk? This Herod is within us. And where are the wise men or wise women? Do you have some glimpse of a greater potential in your life? Are you ready to take that spiritual journey? And maybe journey it doesn't resonate with you. For me, the whole patriarchal religion that I grew up with, Catholicism, how everything was him and he and male, didn't resonate with me. And what resulted, and I've just become aware of this recently, is where my feelings of unworthiness have come from. Living in a patriarchal family, patriarchal religion that I loved, that there was something missing there. And that was allowing the divine feminine to have a voice. I recently read an article called In the Image of God, Godde. God, spelled that way, is an Old English way of spelling God. It's also a feminine way of spelling God. And when you read it, it gives you there's just a pause. Because it causes you to think. It causes you to step back from the embedded God that I have in my embedded theology is a masculine God. But just seeing it as Godde is like, oh, there's more to this God. There's more to this divine than the masculine. Any group or any identity that was marginalized growing up may feel that to let go of their Herod maybe doesn't mean to let go of pride or arrogance or selfishness. Maybe letting go of Herod, for me in particular, is letting go of unworthiness, letting go of self-contempt, letting go of feeling invisible, not having a voice. That's getting rid of Herod for me. For each of us, it may be different as to what that Herod represents, what identities, what aspects of ourselves we identify with. Also in this article talks about, rather than describing the spiritual life as a journey, describing the spiritual life as home. That we don't have to go out and leave a place where we feel safe to have a spiritual life. What if the spiritual life was home and it meant that you could have a place that was safe enough for nesting, a place safe enough to give birth, to grow a garden, to create beauty, make things welcome. Maria Harris, in this same article, talks about that the spiritual life is not a linear movement to a specific destination. For some, it's a dance. It's a circle. It's going in and out of the circle. It's like the hokey pokey, you know? But, whatever imagery works for you when you're thinking about a spiritual life, let that be okay. It doesn't have to be a journey. It doesn't have to be a destination. It doesn't have to be a male God. It can be Godde, the divine, whatever word you want to use for that higher power. Whatever you need to heighten your consciousness. Let that be okay. Let that imagery be okay for you, that we're all different. What the important part is to seek a spiritual life. And that means seeking aliveness, releasing identities that hold us back from that aliveness. There's a book by a neuroscientist, Andrew Newberg, and a therapist, Mark Robert Waldman, and the book is called How God Changes Your Brain. And I love this. They talk about how that we are hardwired to have a connection with our higher self. That there's places in the brain and circuits in the brain that are there, that not everybody will connect with them, not everybody will use them, but each of us has this ability. It's just like our 12 powers that we teach in Unity, that we're always using them there, but we may not use them consciously. And so in their book, they talk about the benefits. Why would we want a spiritual life anyway? Why would we want to leave our comfort zone? It's not easy. It's much easier to be comfortable and safe than it is to lead a spiritual life that requires transformation. What they say is this: Not only do prayer and spiritual practice reduce stress, but just 12 minutes of meditation per day may slow down the aging process. Now, who wouldn't want that? And if you're in this room or you're watching online and you don't want that yet, you will. Contemplating a loving God rather than a punitive God reduces anxiety and depression and increases feelings of security, compassion, and love. Yeah. Fundamentalism in and of itself can be personally beneficial, but the prejudice generated by extreme beliefs can permanently damage your brain. I'd never heard that one. Be more open. Intense prayer and meditation permanently change numerous structures and functions in the brain, altering your values and the way you perceive reality. And most people are happier when they have a purpose in their life, when they have meaning in their lives. They go on to say that yawning heightens consciousness and relaxation. So go ahead and yawn. You have masks on, I can't even tell. And if I could tell, it wouldn't matter because I would just say, oh, they're heightening their consciousness. But what makes you feel most alive? Where are you seeking aliveness? What are you willing to release to attain that aliveness, that feeling, that energy of aliveness? What are you willing to let go of? This Christmas season, allow yourself to travel this inner journey or this home, to find that aliveness within you, to bring it into the world and spread it with good cheer. I want to leave you with a quote that was in Richard Rohr, one of Richard Rohr's blogs this week, but it was written by Brian McLaren. It was on Thursday, on Thanksgiving, actually. He says, what we all want is pretty simple, really. We want to be alive, to feel alive, not just to exist, but to thrive, to live out loud, walk tall, breathe free. We want to be less lonely, less exhausted, less conflicted or afraid, more awake, more grateful, more energized and purposeful. We capture this kind of mindful, overbrimming life in terms like well-being, shalom, blessedness, wholeness, harmony, life to the full, and aliveness. The quest for aliveness is the best thing about religion, I think. It's what we're hoping for when we pray. It's why we gather, celebrate, eat, abstain, attend, practice, sing, and contemplate. When people say, I'm spiritual, what they mean, I think, is simple. I'm seeking aliveness. Seek aliveness. So somebody who's seeking aliveness in a new way at the end of the year is our own Carol Hoskins. And Carol is retiring at the end of the year. I want to ask Carol to come up here and the rest of the staff to come up here. We want to spend a moment honoring Carol as she is looking at a new way of being. No, Jeannie? Jeannie's not here. I think we forgot Jeannie was downstairs and Janice is on vacation, but we are so grateful for you, Carol, and all that you have brought to this community, all that you will continue to bring to this community. I know you've been here a long time, 25 years or so?
More than that.
More than that. And we have been so blessed by having you here, maintaining the history for us and the communication efforts and sending out all those important emails, and we're gonna miss you. And I know that you're not going far, that you will still be here. So we thank you. Thank you so much for all that you have given this community. I know it means a lot to you and you mean a lot to us. So thank you.
So I've been with the church 17 years, and I think it must have been about my second year, right, that you interviewed? Yeah, so I said to Carol, I was kind of thinking that I would be hiring someone a little younger. And she said, I'll prove you wrong.
What I love about Carol is that she's been part of the community for so long, and when she was hired as administrator, you just felt the love that she has for this community and that she has for New Thought. And it just has been overflowing. And as we grew and we grew, when we got more and more complicated, it became clear that we needed somebody more, but it was, it was hard to do. I was on the board at that time, and it was a hard thing to do. And what I love is that Carol said, I'm not going anywhere. Yes, I get it, because this is a lot, and I want to be part of this community. This is my home. This is my family. And without any resentments or frustration or hardship, she just said, how can I be of service? And she has done that every single day that you've been at Columbine. And again, she's retiring, and she's not actually leaving. She's just saying, I just want one less thing.
Let me say one other thing too. Have we ever met anyone more positive?
No.
No. No. Carol comes in, that was fabulous, to everything we do, which is wonderful. It's been a bright spot for us.
Thank you. Well, I've been here, the first time I think I came to Columbine was 27 years ago, when we were still at the junior high. And I loved Rachel's talk 2 weeks ago on our 28th anniversary, when she talked about the history of Columbine. Well, I've been here through most of that history. I remember when we hired Scott. I remember when we broke ground for this building. And the first time we had a service here, I want you guys to imagine this. There was no roof. There was a cement floor. We had a service the sun was shining, it was hot as heck. And we were sitting in chairs that we brought from home. And I remember the first Sunday when the choir stood up here and sang On Holy Ground, which still makes me cry whenever I hear that. So I have been here since long before I was hired as administrator, and I will be here long after I retire from the staff. And mostly I want to thank the staff, fabulous staff we have, and all of these people up here and the people who aren't up here. And I just want to say that one of the core values of Columbine is community. And this is my community, this is my family, this is my home, as Sue was talking about, and I'm not going anywhere.
So we have out on the patio a beautiful memento, a thank you gift for Carol, and it has a big mat, and we would love for every single one of you to give Carol a blessing on that mat so that she can hang that in her home and always know how much we love and appreciate you, Carol.
Yeah.
And with that, let's bring up Pete Jacobs and his Arabic band.
And the picture is by Claudia Courtney that's going in the mat. So thank you, Claudia. It's a beautiful picture. And we have cake outside, too. So.
Persian. It's Persian music. Thank you.
Well, thanks, everybody. And this is one of the great joys of Pete Jacobs and Friends, is that I get to play music with all of my friends. And that includes you. So this song that we're going to do now, this is about the caravan that leaves the Middle East. The caravan is departing. Güçlü caravan kaldık dağlar. And as Sue was talking about the many different names for God? Well, the name for God in Arabic is Allah. And there's a refrain on this song. It goes, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah. And I would invite you all to join us. Do you want to try it? Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah. Beautiful. And there's plenty of room to dance, to turn, whatever you feel so moved. But this is Niji beer.
Thank you so much. We're going Persian revival style. We're going over. We're just enjoying it. We're just going to go overtime, and we're just going to love it. It's going to be fantastic. This is the time in our service where we so gratefully accept your love offerings, and just with such gratitude that you continue to support this amazing spiritual center that is inspiring transformation, not only for ourselves, but around the world. So let's say our offertory blessing together. God's love has always met and will always meet all my needs. I give freely, I receive abundantly, and I am grateful. Thank you. So we do have some announcements, so we'll try to run through them, but it's lots of fun stuff, so don't want to overthrow them. If you're new to us at Columbine, either online or here in the sanctuary, and want to know about what's happening here, please go to the website and sign up to be on our email list. If you sign up for that or contact me, I will reach out and connect with you, and we will be able to help you connect here at Columbine, whether you're in another state or here in the sanctuary. We are so glad that you're here. So we're working on our strategic plan, and I want to bring up Brooke and Ann to talk a little bit about our focus groups. So far, we've got about 80-some people signed up, and we're really excited about the people who have registered so far. And we have more focus groups available, so here it is.
Oh, okay. Do I? Columbine started with an idea. And a bunch of you are here in the audience right now or online who were part of that first wave, so to speak. And then look where we are now. I've been here for 4 years, and the first time I walked in this building, I was just overcome. This building is gorgeous, and everybody welcomed me. I felt more welcomed here than I ever have in any other faith community. And I had attended a lot of different ones. And we want to keep that going. We want to be vibrant. We want to be really serving the community, not just the people who are already here as community, but those who are out there seeking a community like this.
Yes. So we need all of you to sign up. So please, we are having these focus groups. You can sign up online. You can sign up on the website or through the online bulletin. We're asking 2 questions. What do you love about Columbine? And what do you think the purpose of Columbine should be? You'll have an opportunity to comment on the draft statement that the board has put together. And it's going to be awesome. We want everybody to have a voice. So please, please, please sign up for our focus groups. And we really want everybody to have an opportunity to have your voices heard. So get a chance to sign up. They're starting this week, and they run through 2 weeks. So it's going to be quick and dirty, and it's going to be awesome. So.
And also, this is not just for Columbine members. We also have groups for non-members. So please just check it out.
Check it out.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'll have my iPad out there so we can do that. So we've got some great fundraisers. I'll go this way. Okay, stand that way. Okay. So we got some great fundraisers going on right now. One is Chandra's Gift, which was started by Annie Russell a long time ago. Her brother's name is Chandra, and he had mental health issues. And so we started this. It's a Columbine thing called Chandra's Gift to raise money to have gifts for people with mental health. And we've moved to giving to mental health partners. And so we're selling Chocolove bars, and we need additional donations above and beyond the sale of the Chocolove bars, because the truth is not a lot of profit margin on those Chocolove bars. But they're going to be outside selling the Chocolove bars for one more week. And so if you go out and there's not enough of what you want, we do have an order page on the website as well, so that you can order what additional chocolates you want. And next Sunday will be the last Sunday that we're selling Chocolove bars. And then we'll give presents to the mental health partners. Next is we're doing this year again, that we did 2 years ago, a stocking drive. So you can either bring a stuffed stocking. I'm going to go to the dollar store after church and go get a couple dollar store stockings. I bought some things to put in it. Or maybe you didn't have time to buy a whole stocking, so then you think, well, I don't want to bring it in because I didn't bring a whole stocking. Just bring some stuff in. Just bring some stuff in and we'll stuff some stockings. Because we want to be able to take to Precious Child a big box full of pre-made stockings to take to them. Do you have a question, Perry? It's between 3 and 18. And so you can kind of just say, I want a boy, girl. You could put a little note on it. But make it be really fun, but don't be held back that you didn't do a whole stocking. Just bring in some stuff. Which reminds me that the kids are going to do an event next Friday after church where Jeannie's got all the stockings. She's going to do lunch for the families, and then each family will bring some stuff, and they're going to stuff some stockings. So we'd love all the families to participate in that. If you haven't signed up for that already, we do have a link in the update and the e-bulletin for families to sign up for that, and we would love to have a great turnout. Next is that we are having another one of Janice's amazing soirees. Janice is on vacation, much needed vacation. She loves to do an opportunity for everyone to be able to sing. So this is going to be a sing-along soiree on the 11th of December. It's going to be here in the sanctuary at 4 o'clock. It is a free event. We'll do a love offering. A lot of us on the music team are going to be doing some songs. It's going to be super fun and lighthearted and singing along and getting ready for Christmas. So we hope that you'll all join us for that event. Next is Christmas Eve is going to be right around the corner. So we in the choir are working diligently to bring you amazing music. We're going to do 2 services. The first service will be outside, family friendly. Jeannie said she might bring some animals. Just saying. So, petting zoo. Bring the animals. We're going to do it outside, super casual. It's usually great weather on Christmas Eve. And do our tea light candle lighting. I think we didn't talk about that. Yes, our tea light candle lighting, really kind of low-key Christmas. And then at 5 here in the sanctuary, we're going to do our traditional candle lighting service with incredible music and an incredible message from Sue and Scott. So we hope that you'll pick which one of those services will work for you, and we'll televise, live stream the second one. And I think, who's our prayer chaplain today? Beth Overstreet is our prayer chaplain, and she would love to let Source run through her. She'll be over on this side of the sanctuary. Okay, let's stand up and sing our peace song. On earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Amen. Let's go on out and party on the patio. And I forgot to mention we'll have Christmas trees, fresh Christmas trees here next Sunday. Okay, see you outside.
دل من کشان